To this session on EndNote for reference management. My name is Guchne van Deventer. I'm the manager here at the Research Commons in the library. So the first portion of today's session will be covered by my colleague Bronwyn Bruton, who will just give you an overview of how to set up EndNote on your computer, how to run installation, and so on. But before I hand over to her, just to get an indication, if you can raise your hands, can you please just indicate? Uh, can you hear me? Just to double check again. I see somebody said now they can't hear me.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So
Yes.
the hand raising, what I want to ask for is if you have Apple devices. So please raise your hands if you have Apples. Okay, so there are a couple. So yes, just keep in mind that there are some slight differences in the installation procedure and so on. So if you do have, uh, oh, I'm talking now about laptops, not phones or tablets. This is now for installing it on laptops. But yes, the focus is going to be on Windows since we all at the university, at least in the library, we operate on Windows devices. Um, so you can, yes, just have a look at the library guide on how to set it up on Mac if the steps aren't exactly the same. All right, over to you, Bronwyn.
Great. Thank you, Kirchner. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Great. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to, so good morning, everybody. Welcome. Great that everybody has turned out in numbers today to learn about EndNote. I'm going to share my screen. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Fantastic, thank you. All right, so the first thing we're going to cover this morning is installing EndNote so that we can make use of it. So I'm going to start by going to the library's homepage. So on the library's homepage, library.sun.ac.za, if we move down to the quick links on the right-hand side, and we're going to go to referencing, and under referencing, we're going to go to reference management EndNote 21. And the reason I'm taking you here is to show you where the EndNote library guide is. So this is our EndNote library guide, very useful resource. Do make sure you refer to it as often as you need to. So on the second tab here, installing and setting up EndNote 21 Windows, and we're going to focus on Windows for now. There is a tab there for Mac. Okay, you can have a look at that in your own time, but I'm going to go under installing and setting up EndNote and installing EndNote 21 and click there. And I'm just would like to point out to you there are 8 steps here to go about installing EndNote on your laptop or PC. So the most important one actually is the NB right at the end here, number 8. Make sure that MS Word and Outlook are closed when you begin to install EndNote. So I have closed my Outlook and Word. And so we're going to start with step 1, and we're going to visit the SU Software Hub, and we click on this option here, okay, to access the hub. And under the Software Hub, we click on EndNote 21. And in this case, we're going to go to Windows because we're using Windows. And under Windows, we get to this .exe file, okay. And this is the file one will download. Okay, I have actually downloaded this a little bit earlier this morning, so I'm for ease, for quickness, and I'm going to go to my downloads and click on the file there. So I downloaded it earlier this morning. So under downloads, here we go. Here is the file, and we click on that file. and we say yes, we want to allow it to make changes to our device. Okay. And then we come to this wizard screen. Okay, so we're going to say next. And then what we need to do is we need to install the product key. Now the product key is on the hub page there. So we're going to go back to where we were and we're going to copy, we're going to say Control C and we will copy the key across. Okay, if I can just get to the right screen. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit tied up. Okay, we need to go back here and we need to, okay, so we've already downloaded our file, but we need to go, we need to go back here.
Sorry, please, sorry, Bronwyn. If you're not, I just wanted to say if anybody's unmuted, please ensure that you mute yourself.
Okay, folks, I got myself a little lost there for a moment, but we go back to this software hub and we go under this option EndNote 21 where it says license.txt. And under there, we will find the product key. So there, number 3 on the screen is a product key. We just highlight that, Control C, and we take that to our screen, the wizard screen, the EndNote 21 wizard screen, and we say Control V, and it should place it there in the box. All right, so we then say, so we've selected, I have a product key, we've put the product key there in the box, and we say next. Next, you need to just enter your name there in the box, okay. And your organization, Stellenbosch University, say next. The README information, we can just move on to next. And then we do need to accept the license agreement. Okay, so choose the first option there. We say next. And on this screen, you've got the option of selecting a typical installation type or the custom one. And we recommend using typical. So make sure that's selected. We say next. And we can say next again. And we're ready to install. Right. We go. All right. And with EndNote, it does not give us an icon on our screen once it has installed. So in a moment, I will show you how we will pin EndNote to our taskbar. Okay, so just let this take a moment and it will install. If you got lost on any of these steps, just remember you can always go back to our EndNote library guide, and all 8 of those steps are there. Okay, right, so let's see how we're doing. All right, it has successfully installed and we can finish. All right, and as I said to you, we don't have an
Bronwyn,
icon. Yes.
sorry, I see somebody's raised their hand. So
Great.
Mr. Eigenhuis or Ms. Eigenhuis, you can unmute yourself.
Hi, I got a little bit lost with the installation part where it says the installation type. Do we use the typical or the custom option?
We use the typical.
Okay, thank you.
The first option. Thanks for your question. All right, any other questions at this point? Okay, great. So let's go ahead and we're going to put our, we're going to create a little icon on our taskbar. So we can go to Start and type in EndNote. Okay, and when you see EndNote app, just right click on that and we can pin EndNote to our taskbar. Okay, so click on pin to taskbar and it should, there we go, create a little icon here, the purple and white one, it's the EN, and that is our EndNote where we will click to open EndNote in future. All right, so let's go ahead and open EndNote.
Bronwyn,
Yes.
if
Yes,
I could just interject here, because here is quite a big thing that happens on Mac devices the first time that you open EndNote on a Mac laptop,
Sure,
is
go ahead.
it will open, but it won't look like anything's actually happened. In the top left corner, where usually your Apple icon stands, you will see that EndNote has opened, but it hasn't opened a window or created a library or anything like that. So you'll see in the instructions under installing EndNote, just follow the steps there afterwards. Let's just see here. Yeah, you'll have to click on File, New, and create a library the first time that you open it on a Mac device. On Windows, you are automatically prompted to create a new library the first time that you open it.
Great.
It is step 15, if you'd like to show it.
Great, thank you. Okay, there we go. Great, thanks, Kirchner. Okay, so so that is the tab if we're making use of Mac. All right, I'm just going to lower that down there. Okay, my EndNote library has opened. It gives me this window offering me EndNote updates. One can say download and install. For now, I'm just going to say cancel for quickness so we can move on. All right, so your EndNote library may be blank if you're opening your EndNote library for the first time. Mine does have references in it here. What I'd like to show you now is how to create an EndNote account. And the reason you need to create an EndNote account is in order that your work is backed up. Okay, so we're going to go to on the top left-hand side there, we're going to go to File, beg your pardon, we're going to go to Edit, and we're going to go to Preferences. Okay, and under Preferences, we see an option there, Sync. Okay, so we click on Sync. And under here, we are able to enable sync. But before we do that, if you do not have an EndNote account, here is where you will create one. Okay, so I already have an EndNote account, but if you don't have one, here is where you will sign up. Okay, so you can create a new EndNote account. You click here to sign up. You enter your email address, you retype your email address, and then you submit. Okay, I'm not going to create a second account because I do have one with EndNote. All right, so I'm just canceling for now. All right, so once you've created your EndNote account, you will also move down here to where this says sync this EndNote library, and you want to tick the option to say sync automatically. Okay, so this little box here, you're going to click on and make sure it's selected. All right, are there any questions about creating your EndNote account and enabling the sync automatically?
There's a question in the chat. Should we use our university emails for sign up, or is it not necessary? And no, it's not necessary.
Okay, right. And once we've made our selection there, we need to click on apply at the bottom right corner there. Okay, so we apply. Right, and then we can say okay. All right, Kirchner, shall I hand over to you at this point? And is there any other questions or anything anybody would like recapped at this point?
Uh, yeah, I see there's one question here, just how to get past the product key stage, but unfortunately I would recommend Lungi, that you please just go to the library guide and follow the steps there or view the recording afterwards. We won't have enough time, unfortunately, to repeat all the steps after the product key. Um, but And oh, and also somebody who missed where to create an account. Um, so yeah, maybe Bronwyn, just go through, do a quick rehash of from the step where to get the product key, and how to add that, and then to run
Okay.
it.
Okay, sure. So we're going to get the product key from the IT hub. Okay, so our steps, just to recap, the steps are here, and we visit the software hub. There's the link to the software hub and the EndNote, the EndNote 21 license.txt is where we will find the product key. There it is there, highlight it, and you copy it, Control C, and Lungi, if you're battling to paste it, use Control V. Okay, right, that helps you. Kirchner, is that okay? So
Yes, I'm just going to rehash quickly the steps on Mac. It's basically essentially the same for creating a new account. You just have to press elsewhere. I see Ms. Cameron did actually put some settings there. Um, oh, and I see somebody chose the free trial option. It's not optimal. You need to actually rather download the software from the software hub, not directly from EndNote's website. Um, but for now, if you can just follow with the free trial, and then at a later stage just uninstall it and rather install that install file. Because I don't know if the free trial gives you the option to put the product key in. If it does, give that a try, and if it works, that's fine. Okay, but yes, thank you, Bronwyn. I think yes, that covers the most important aspects of getting it set up. If any of you got lost, as I said, go and have a look at the library guide. And if you're still struggling elsewhere, you're more than welcome to contact me, Bronwyn, or my colleague Leclau, who's also online today, just to assist you via Teams. Or if you want to come to the library, we can help you get set up as well. Okay, so now it's on to just my section to give an overview of the software. Right, just to confirm, you can see my screen?
yes, we can, Kirchner.
All right. Okay, so this is now a blank EndNote library that you will all have in front of you the first time round. There might be some minor differences, but we'll touch on those a bit later. So the first important thing is obviously to get sources and your references into EndNote. Now, you can create a manual import if you press on this little plus icon here. And then you can, here you'll get now the different types of fields that need to be entered. Here you can choose what kind of reference you want to enter, and then you'll just fill in the most essential information of what is required. On all of these fields, there are a lot of extra information like a legal note and reviewed item and things like that, which really isn't necessary. You don't have to fill all these fields. But I mean, obviously, you don't want to manually add all of your references. So this is just if it's a website or if it's an obscure type of source that doesn't generate a reference automatically, then this manual edition is the best option. So yes, I'm going to close that one and I'm going to the library homepage. And I'm going to start here to show you how to import and get references into EndNote. Okay, so let me see. Let's do this one. Oh no, that's a title. I'd rather just search for a topic. Can anybody suggest a topic for me in the chat that I can do a search on? Okay, so peace building and conflict. I'm going to add conflict just for now. If any of you are unfamiliar with this research assistant, you can, I'd suggest having a look at that in your own time. I wouldn't now because it's going to distract you. But it's our own, forms part of our library search, and it is kind of like our own AI feature that can assist you in finding some more detailed information. So go and play around with that at some time when you have a chance. Um, okay, so we've got a couple of books, we've got articles. But in this instance, I specifically do want a journal. So I'm going to select peer review journals and I'm going to select articles and I'm going to click apply. And let's use this first one. Okay, I see there's a question. Yeah, if you were asked uh, to open an existing library or create a new library, would I click on create a new account? Yes. When you're prompted the first time round, you must create a new library because you won't have an existing library saved on your computer. Okay, so here we have the record. And we've got a couple of options here under send to, including EndNote. And somewhat contradictory, I'm going to ask you to please ignore that EndNote export button. And to explain why is that what it first does is it takes you to EndNote Web, where you're first going to have to sign in and do all kinds of extra things, and then you need to synchronize your offline library with it as well. Um, so what I recommend is that you always look for this, the RIS, Research Information Software is what it stands for. Um, Almost all our databases, all academic databases will have the RIS option, and that is why I recommend you always choose RIS wherever possible. If it for whatever reason it's not available, there will be a BibTeX option available, so you could always choose that as well. And if all else fails, then you can select the EndNote option. But the quickest one is just RIS. You click on it, you click on download, and once it's downloaded, you just click on that file and it will be imported. And here we will now have our breakdown. We have our author, we have the year, we have the title, and here to the right, we've got a summary of the record and also how it would look with your selected referencing style. So if I were to change it to APA 7th, then it will look like that. Um, but SU Harvard is quite a popular one, so that's the next thing that I will show you is how to install a specific style. So that is also available on our library guide. Ms. Johnson, I see your question on if you already have articles on your computer. I will show you actually what to do, and we are going to get to that, so I will show you a bit later. But yes, let's just go back to the library guide. And under installing and setting up EndNote Windows, you'll see there's this installing the SU Harvard style. If you click on that and you click here, it will also just download that file. And if you click on it, this window will come up. And all you have to do from here then is just to save the website, or to save this file. I'm not going to save it this time because I already have it on my computers, but yeah, you can remove the copy that will come in brackets, and then you can just say save. And then in EndNote, one final important step is you need to click on Tools here at the top, go to Output Styles, and then click on this Open Style Manager. Then this window will appear and you need to scroll down. Yours will all open here at the top. You just need to scroll down all the way to S where the newly installed style will be. And you need to make sure that that little blue tick mark is added, is ticked. And the reason for that is otherwise it will not appear here under this list of your preferred styles. Okay. Now, under output styles, I mean, if you, for instance, you need to now submit to a journal, international journal, or even some South African journals, and you want to see if they have a style available for EndNote, you can click on this Get More on the web. Come now. Let's go here. It will take you to this website. I've got so many different tabs open on my computer. I keep I've lost track a bit of where it opens. And I don't know why the internet is so slow today. But I do see there's a question. Do you mind very briefly showing the website where we search for articles? It's the library homepage. So if you go to the university library, you'll see let's just go click there. It's this one. Here you'll be doing the searches. There are also databases, academic databases where you can do searches, but I would recommend I'm going to go to a few of them later. But if you want some training in that, I would recommend either attending our library induction. That's we've got another session in March, or contacting your faculty librarian who can assist you in getting yeah, how to find the information that you need. Okay, so now let's see output styles. It's now loaded. Finally, there will be a cookie prompt. All right. Just for the sake of, I'm not going to repeat all the steps, unfortunately. Can I please, if you did miss a step, you can always just have a look at the recording afterwards. Um, because, yeah, otherwise we might run out of time and there's quite a bit that needs to be covered. So yes, here we have now this style finder. Can anybody recommend a journal that they plan on publishing in? Okay, let's use that fluid phase equilibria. And I hope now, they say they have almost 6,000 bibliographic styles. Yes, here we go. There it is. You click on that and you follow the same steps as we did with the SU Harvard style. You just click on the downloaded file. This will come up. You click on save. I'm just going to remove that copy. And now this is the same for the SU Harvard if you've downloaded it. You'll then just go to Tools, Output Styles, Open Style Manager here at the top. And in this instance, I'm going to scroll to fluid. Ah, fluid phase equilibria, I see it's already been ticked, so it is already there. And then it will appear under this list of preferred output styles. You can only, I have got this many simply because of the demonstrations and so on. Um, okay, I see a question there on where to find that style. It's on the library guide. Under installing and setting up EndNote Windows or for Mac, installing the SU Harvard style. There you will have the link to, you just click on that first little link there. Okay. Alrighty, so now that we do have our reference installed, we've got a specific Harvard or a specific referencing style installed. If I click on fluid phase equilibria, we can see that it works with the numbering system. Um, and it's already readjusted the reference according to how that specific journal wants it. Now, just a bit of an overview of the layout. On the left, we've got our library breakdown. You're going to have your all references. Newly imported references will appear there. Recently added, unfiled, will be any references that's not yet been organized in groups. Now, if I talk about groups, that's basically folders. They call it groups in EndNote, but this is where you will now create different folders and so on. And I'll come back to that when we import a couple of more references. Tags, I will also touch on once we have a few more references here. Now, find full text is quite a handy feature that I'll come to as well. And I'll show you the instructions on how to set that up. And yeah, you can also share your library with others, or if these folders you could share with others. So that's for collaborative purposes. And then online search is also a feature that's available if you are connected to the university network. Unfortunately, only then. We've battled with EndNote about this, but apparently you have to be connected to the institution network to be able to use these functions. And unfortunately, also, the only ones that really work optimally is Web of Science and then the SU Library Search and PubMed. The others that I've tried don't work as yet. This is a relatively new feature of EndNote, and the integration isn't 100% just yet, but I'm hoping that it will get there soon. Right, so let's go and add a couple of more references. So for this purpose, I'm going to use Science Direct as the first example because it's a bit simpler. Just to show you how I got there again. Sorry, I just went on autopilot there. So on the library homepage, you'll click on Databases A to Z list. Yes, the online search allows you to search within EndNotes. It won't give you the full text necessarily. It might just give you the record. Um, but yes, it's not optimal. It's I would always recommend rather working through the library homepage to do searches, simply because you will always miss out on results if you use, for instance, just Google Scholar or just the online search in EndNote, for instance. Okay, so from here, let's go to S. And Science Direct. And let's choose, did ask for, okay, so let's look at insect conservation. All right, okay, so we've got a whole bunch of different results here. So you can also export more than one record at a time. Okay, so I've selected the first 8 ones. I'll click on export. And there you'll see RIS is a citation, an option again. So you'll click on that. And there it's automatically downloaded the RIS under downloads. Um, and then you just click on that file, and here those records are imported. Now, part of the reason that I did select Science Direct is because it does have their records are very accurate, and all the information is usually very good. Um, I am actually going to show you now. Yes, yeah, the library website is 100 times better than Google Scholar. You're going to find the results that you'll find on Google Scholar on the library website as well, but just much more accurately. You will get the best results if you. But yeah, in that regard, definitely, please consult with your faculty librarian and have a one-on-one with them so that they can help you develop a search strategy to find the most accurate information for your topic. So the full text finder, this option here, has got a couple of steps before we can enable it. Because as you can see, we've got these records, but they don't have any PDFs attached. So you will go to your preferences under edit or under, if you click on EndNote on Mac in the top left corner under settings, and you'll look for the find full text option here. These will be automatically ticked, but these two links needs to be added to this find full text option. So I'm going to paste this into the chat one by one. So the first link that I'm pasting into the chat must be pasted here where open URL path is put. The next one that I'm going to paste must be added here under URL with authenticate with. I strongly recommend not to tick this automatically invoke find full text on newly imported references. Because if you, for instance, now import 100 references into your library, that might, it will slow down your EndNote in the first place, and it might also even disrupt some of the functionality the first time round. Rather to go and then decide, okay, this bunch of articles I do want the full text of, but you don't necessarily want the all 100 PDFs if you were to, for instance, import 100 references. So once this has been, these links have been added, you click on apply, you say okay, and then you select these records. I'm actually going to select all 9. Now, the find full text, in my experience, has got about a 30 to 40% success rate of actually finding the PDFs. It's not a full proof system just yet, because this is also a very new feature that will improve, I think, with time and with EndNote's integration with these databases. But let's see what happens if you right click and you click on find full text. You'll be prompted the first time to log in with your university credentials. You just say continue. And now you'll see here it's showing searching. So I'm hoping that at least one or two of these will actually get us the result. But since it is Science Direct, there are chances that EndNote and Science Direct don't communicate well with each other just yet. So it might also be that no results come back. So it's found the URLs for these two. And while that's going on, let's carry on with another a couple of other results. I'm going to jump to the next page here. And now, for the demonstration purposes, what I want to do is I'm going to create in the downloads folder a temporary folder. EndNote demo today. Let's call this insect conservation. And let's say we want to keep all the Science Direct records together. So I'm going to select 25 articles. I'm going to export. Where's the download option now? Oh, there. No, completely overlooked it. You'll see also here now that it's only downloading 23 of the 25 selected sources that were highlighted. It might be because we don't have access to two of these sources, that they do appear as a result, but we don't have access to them at the library. It might be that it's referring to a book. There could be all kinds of reasons why. So let's just go. And I'm going to extract this one to that newly created folder. Okay, so there they are. Now I want to go to another database. Is there any specific database any of you would like me to cover? Okay. So Scopus is very much the same as Science Direct because they're both Elsevier. But yes, so if I were to do insect conservation here, and in this instance, I'm just going to take 5 because the more PDFs you add, the longer it sometimes takes to process as well. Okay, so I'm going to download those ones. I don't want to go through that step now. But okay, so if you want to export a reference from Scopus, you'll click here on export. There you'll have your RIS also. You'll see even here there's an EndNote option, and to its right it says RIS. And it will download the exact same file as this one. If you click on it, you'll get these prompts here, what information should be included, and I would always recommend including as much of the information as possible. Even the abstract and keywords would be quite well recommended. Okay, so I'm going to click on this first one and just download it, the PDF directly. And this downloaded one, let's just go to the folder and create a new folder, Scopus, and I'm going to paste it there. And let's use one more database. And one I think that's operates a bit differently. Let's use Academic Search Premier, which falls under the EBSCOhost databases. Uh, no, man, now I've chosen the wrong. Academic Search Premier. And we're going to do insect conservation again. Oof, these cookies. Okay, so now I don't think there's an option to bulk download the PDFs with EBSCOhost, unfortunately. But to show how uh, to export references in this instance, let's see what the options are, is that if you could either select the results to the 10 selected results, you could click then on this Cite button, and then you'll click on Export Citation, and there you'll have RIS as the first option again. And then you just select that, you download it, and it will download those ones. Now, let's see if we say download. There's PDF. Oh, there is actually an option. Oh, but oh no, it says metadata only. Okay, so that's not going to work. It will download in PDF, but the metadata of the PDF itself. So that's not optimal. So in the cases like in these type of databases, you will have to first go and click on the title, click on download here. There's the full text, PDF, download, and let's just create one more folder. Academic Search Premier. Okay, so this is now quite handy if you already have a whole bunch of PDFs stored on your computer, and especially if you've already got them organized into folders. If you only have them in one big folder, that's also fine. But what will happen is you'll go to File here in the top, go to Import, and then you'll click on Import Folder. Now on Mac, this is also a bit different how this looks. These options, this import option and duplicates here at the bottom is hidden on Mac. There should be a more options available on the Mac import place where you select the folder or file that you want to import. So please just keep that in mind. Very important, make sure that you select PDF here. And then, because I've now created a folder with subfolders, you say include files in subfolders, and I'm going to select create a group set for this import. So choose, and let's go to downloads. And what was that called now? Insect conservation. There we go. Okay, so you select the big folder, and we say import. And now you'll see here to the left where your groups are. It's automatically creating those folders already. And I'm going to come back to this because this is going to take a minute or so. So I also want to show you how to export from Google Scholar because obviously a lot of you do use it. Um, so it is worthwhile to know how to export references from there as well. Uh, an important first step, if you haven't done this already, and if you're working from home especially, is to click on these three burger bars here at the burger bar here at the top left, and to go to Settings. And then you'll see this option, Library Links. If you'll click on that, you'll see you can link a library to the results that you get. So Stellenbosch, in my case, is showing now. I'm just going to update this, go back to it. And let's do a search and just because I just want to show what the difference is basically. Okay, so here you've got your PDF, full view, and so on, as all those little things. If we go there, advanced search, settings, library links, you type in Stellenbosch, it will come up, you tick it, and you say save. Now you'll see this option has popped up all of a sudden, full text at Stellenbosch. So oftentimes this will then say that you can access it via Stellenbosch. Stellenbosch. Sometimes it is just directly available, but oftentimes it's not. You first need to go through the website, and then if you don't have an account and so on. So this is just one more extra step that can make it a bit easier. Now, to cite a source from one of these, you'll click here on Cite. You'll click on EndNote here. Oh, no, actually not. Again, not EndNote. Sorry. You'll click on RefMan. This one here, which stands for Reference Manager. And you'll see it's downloaded in RIS. And here we have the information. insect conservation, synthetic management approach. Most of the necessary info is there. I just want to check, but there is some information missing. It's not as complete as a record necessarily would be from one of the academic databases. If you want to export multiple references, I need to see now, you need to click on this save button. So I'm going to create one now and say insect conservation. And I'm just going to do 3 there. And then if you go to my library here in the top corner, you can have this option to say export all. So there are a whole bunch here now. So I'm actually just going to export all of them to build my library. And I'm going to select refman again and say export all articles in my library. There's the RIS that's been generated. And now those 15 have been added as well. So, and this is something to keep in mind, especially when you get sources from Google Scholar or academia or ResearchGate or one of those websites, is you will often get incomplete references like this one. You see, we've got the title of this article, we've got the authors, and we've got the year, but we've got nothing else that's missing. So the journal isn't there, the volume isn't there, the issue number, the page numbers, the DOI is all missing from this. And that is one of the other reasons why we often encourage rather going through the library websites and our academic databases, because those will more frequently, almost always, I can't say 100% always, but almost always have complete records when you export that information. And it's the same with a PDF. If we were, for instance, now to go to, let's just say ordinary Google, and also search insect conservation. And I'm just going to type in ResearchGate. Oh, there's a PDF. I am human, I think. Okay, so let's download this one. Let's just go straight to downloads. And okay, so now before I continue with importing that PDF, I want to highlight now here. So now you'll see the groups that were generated when we imported those PDFs. And you'll see that these PDFs, when they were imported, created comprehensive, complete reference as well. That's because those PDFs have got embedded metadata that will automatically generate a reference if it gets imported into a reference manager. Not just EndNote, Mendeley, any of these ones will then generate the reference with that information. Let's see, Academic Search Premier, even that PDF actually generated it as well. Let's go back to our find full text. So yes, out of that 9 that we did the search earlier, you'll see I only found 1 PDF for one of those results. So it's, as I said, it doesn't have a complete or complete records or complete success rates. It's about the more references you search, usually that increases the likelihood of finding sources. Okay, so let's import that PDF that I just added. So we'll click on File, Import, File. Make sure PDF is selected here. Very important again. Let's go to Downloads. And where is that? Why can't I see it now? Didn't it save it? Let me just make sure that I actually saved it in the right folder. Downloads, save. Uh, I don't know if I've selected now a different downloads folder on my computer, but it is important that I show this, so please just bear with me. I'm going to save this on the desktop. That should be. Oh, wait. It's actually not work. It didn't actually download it. There we go. Okay, now it's finally downloaded. Okay, so choose downloads. There we have it. And let's see what happens. Oh, okay, so this one was not the ideal one that I hoped it would. But oftentimes, especially if you download PDFs from websites like Academia or ResearchGate, or even if it's a PDF that your supervisor sent you, or if it's a chapter that somebody scanned for you. If you import that PDF, it's not going to generate a reference. I just want to show what will happen. So I'm just going to choose a random PDF here that I know won't. Let's just see. Okay, so let's use that. Now, this is personal information, so I hope it doesn't actually show anything specifically. But what you're going to get, okay, sorry, it seemed like I got disconnected from Teams for a second there. Just want to check everybody's still with me. Great. Okay, so this PDF has been imported, but all it's done is it's just given the title of the actual PDF name. Nothing else was added. And in a case like this, you'll have to either manually add that information or you need to go and look up that source online. So let's just delete this one and let's have a look at some of these others. And now I want to jump to this side in a bit more detail. So what we have here at the top is we've got summary, we've got edit, and we've got PDF. So on the summary page, you get a breakdown of your record. On edit, you can edit that information. And um, yeah, many of those that information isn't necessarily always completely perfect. So, for instance, in SU Harvard and most South African referencing style, we have to write our titles in sentence case. That means this H, this I, this G must be lowercase unless it's a person's name, a place name, a Latin term, or anything like that. You will have to go and manually change that, unfortunately, in cases like this. Of odontates, that seems that it might be a name. I'm not 100% sure. Legal Amazonia zone does also seem to be, should be uppercase. But yeah, the other thing, for instance, here is it's only given an abbreviation of the name. So this isn't necessarily optimal. There are some styles that want you to abbreviate, others want you to write it out. So I'm thinking this will be neotropical entomology. You'll need to fix that. It's going red because it's now picking it up as an unrecognized entry. It hasn't been entered before, so it's recognizing it now as a new one. And the reason that is beneficial is that if you were now to go and create a new reference, for instance, that you have to manually add, and you go to journal and we type in neotrop, then it will automatically pop up with a recommendation of the name that you want to put in there. Okay. And then at here we have our PDF, and even in this case, it actually just gave that record and it didn't actually give the article. So let's choose this one rather. Here we go. So well, this one from Science Direct. Now we've got your PDF here, and you can do some minor annotations. If you click up on this markup annotation button here, you'll see you can add a note, add a comment, and say compare to B5, for instance, or whatever. You can highlight as well, underline, and strike through. And you can export these annotations or in Acrobat. So if you click on Open with Adobe Acrobat, you'll have your notes here. Okay. Well, so this is a good place just to keep all your records in one place and to be sure that everything is correct. So the next thing that we want to do now, for instance, is add tags. Tags is another way. Oh, I see there's a hand raised.
Could I ask a question about making notes within the PDF on EndNote? Because what's happened with me is when I highlight text and I open like a speech bubble, then it automatically copies that text that I've highlighted in the speech bubble.
Let's see. I have, I don't. It's, let me try that because actually I'm not familiar with that, but if that is a feature, that would actually it's actually quite a great feature. So just explain, you first highlight the text.
Yes, so if I'm on I don't know if it makes a difference if you're on a Mac or a normal laptop, but I highlight the text and then and I open the speech bubble and then it automatically copy pastes what I've highlighted in the speech bubble.
Well, that's very interesting. Um, I'm not picking it up now. Yeah, in this case, it's not doing it, but it might be a Mac feature that allows it. But I would maybe ask you if you're willing at the end of the session to share your screen just to show how you did that, so that maybe I'm doing it incorrectly on my side.
Okay, I'll see if it does it again.
All
Thanks.
right, thanks. But I'm sure you should be able, yeah, I mean, if that doesn't work, for instance, and you just copy the text and you were to put it into the bubble, it should be able to, should be able to paste it. But yeah, in this case now, it doesn't want me to paste it except comment, which has now been copied. Let's try. No. Okay. But yeah, go and play around with it a bit. I'll also, in my own time, play around and see if there's some features that I'm not familiar with. And then, yeah, I might do a recording that I will share with you. Okay, so the other thing that will happen is if you make changes in a reference or in a record and you try to go to another one, you'll get this prompt. Do you want to save changes made to? I would always recommend just click on this do not show this message again because then it will automatically save those changes every time. Otherwise, you have to tick that every time you make a change, and that can become a bit tedious. Righto, so I think that's everything in EndNote itself. The online search can be enabled. You can add the SU library as a search option as well. The instructions to do that is on our library guide. under adding SU library search to EndNote. And then you can just follow these prompts to get it installed. And that should allow you to do a rudimentary search, and I really do mean rudimentary, on the library's own database. So under title, let's type in insect conservation again. And here the results are coming through fairly slowly. But what you see here also is it only gives you the first results that appear on the library homepage. It's not, for some other reason, it doesn't show all the results that are available on the library database. I mean, if we were to search for uh, insect conservation here, you'll see that there are over 40,000 results. But it only gave the first 10 or first 13 on this one. So keep that in mind. That is why we also say, yeah, this is great if you want to look up a specific record or a specific author, for instance. So if I were to go to Web of Science, let's copy this new tr new, and we say author, and let's try and see what we get. Oh, wait, I'm going to stop this. Oh, it actually does give it. Okay, wait. So Web of Science works very well because it is an EndNote Clarivate product. Um, but it's not necessarily going to work great with, I've tried to enable Academic Search Premier, for instance. Let's see, maybe something's changed since I last tried. Nope, no joy. The other one that does work is PubMed. But again, you do have to be on campus connected to EduRoam to be able to do this, to conduct this search. And as you can see, yeah, here we got some results as well. Okay, so now I do want to select these ones and I want to add them to my library. So from the results that I've searched, I want to import them to all references, and they're falling under unfiled. So they haven't been sorted into any of these folders. So you can also, under My Groups, create a new sub group set. So it will be a main heading one. Let's just say dragonflies, because I did see that name appear. And let's search here under unfiled. Let's search dragonflies. And now for some other reason it doesn't. Let's see what else is there. Okay, let's see management. Okay, there's 3 results. They're all identical, but that's okay for the purposes of what I want to demonstrate. You select those records, you click, you drag, and you drag them into. Now, why doesn't it want to let me do that? Oh, okay. So a group set, this is the main heading, but this isn't going to have is a folder on its own. You have to actually um, create a group set or a group under this one. So let's call this one management, for instance. And now let's say these ones deal with management. You drag and you drop it into this one, and now they've also been organized and sorted. But tagging is the other way that you can, for instance, do a bit of add a bit more detail and organize it a bit better. So let's say pollination. Okay, so under the Edit tab, you'll see the very top option is Manage Tags. And you click on that, and you say Create Tag here. And let's say Pollination. And let's make it green. Okay, and let's create another tag. Let's say Community Structure. And we make it blue or purplish. And let's add this one just randomly and say both, they have both those tags. This one, just community structure. And here under my tags, you'll now see those keywords. You'll be able to filter according to your keywords and be able to find those sources that you tagged with those specific terms. Okay, so yes, that's the main elements of this. I see there's a few questions in the chat, so I just want to quickly scan through them. Redo my library of all my PDFs. Would it be best to import the PDFs to get the full references? Yeah, okay, so if those PDFs do generate references, I think, yeah, that one I did explain that if you do import PDFs and they don't have the necessary metadata, they won't generate the records, unfortunately. Does the SU style dictate the formatting of the bibliography? I find my bibliography in Word doc generated by EndNote is not well formatted. The text is very close together and hard to read. Okay, yes, yeah, there's some minor things that you still need to edit for that. These inform our audience where best to save their EN file. Oh, so yeah, I think this was more directed at me. So your library, it's very important that where it is stored is not on a cloud drive. So you mustn't save it on OneDrive, on iCloud, or on Google Drive or so. It must be stored on your computer. It can synchronize to create an online backup. So for instance, just to show, this is now, for instance, my OneDrive folder. And I don't save don't ever save your library directly on there. Save it under downloads or on your my documents, even if your documents do synchronize with the cloud. But make sure that you save it on your computer specifically and not directly to the cloud, because that could lead to corruption of your file and you won't be able to retrieve that data then afterwards. If you want to download your library on another computer, then it is better to go to EndNote Web and synchronize it via that way. So EndNote Web, you log in with those credentials you created. I hope I remember now what mine are, but I can't. I'm not going to struggle with that now because I think the password might be one I don't remember now. And then once you've done that, you can either use EndNote Web on another computer, or if you're on another computer, you just make sure that you synchronize uh, uh, with a specific uh, 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 library as well. But keep in mind, you can only synchronize one library at a time. So if somebody else is already synchronized on a specific computer, it might be difficult then to synchronize a different library. So that does make it a bit tricky if you need to do that. And in a case like that, I will show you how to operate using EndNote Web and not necessarily the installed version of EndNote. Okay. So now let's go on to Word and how to actually manage the citations in EndNote. But before, yeah, maybe before I do that, are there any questions about the platform itself? You're welcome to unmute yourself if you want to ask a question. All right, doesn't look like it. So let's carry on. Okay, so part of the reason that Word needs to be closed when you install EndNote is that it automatically adds this EndNote tab into Word. So, and that is why there's this conflict if it isn't closed. Now, from this tab, you have all the options to insert references, to manage your references, and so on. So now the first step then would be to insert a reference. It's usually at the end of a sentence before the full stop. Let's say insert citation. And let's search. I'm just going to type in a random letter. And let's say we want to insert Buckley 2016. Oh, I see there's a whole bunch of duplicates. So I'll show you how to deal with duplicates now. Right, so now we've got our first citation and the reference list has been generated at the end of the document. It will always generate the reference list at the end of the document. If you want to move it, you just click it, highlight it like that, you press Control X or you cut it. Let's put in a page break and then you can paste it where you want that reference list to appear. Okay, so let's put another citation. Let's choose Beaumont. Let's add Murphy. And now you'll see also, for instance, that et al. Is being used from the first time round. Now that can be for two reasons. It can either be because it's set, the style is set to automatically use et al. The moment there are three or more authors, and this has become the standard in a lot of referencing styles. APA does it, so even if it's the first time that you cite an author now, it will still always use et al. Automatically. But I do know that there are some instances where it's still preferred that the first time when you reference a source that you cite all the styles. I will get to the Chicago footnotes, demonstrate that a bit now as well. So if I were to, for instance, now change this style to, let's say, IEEE, there it becomes numbers, and here it is numbered accordingly. If I were to change it to, let's try Stellenbosch Law Review. We've got our references, but nothing in the text. It's hidden. And I think that's because it's a footnote system. Let's try, okay, well, APA 7th will also use et al., but the et al. Isn't italicized. Minor little differences that come with different styles. So we've got SU Harvard just back again. But sometimes you want to write, for instance, according to the author, according to someone. And if you insert your citation like that, let's say Tele, then this obviously won't be correct. A quick way to fix that is you right click on that reference, you go to edit citation and you change the display as author year. And now you'll see, according to Stelle Enkien, I realize that might be something a mistake on my side because I've recently I had to edit the style for somebody. But if that should be and, so I'm just going to change that. Now look what happens when I click on Update Citations and Bibliography. It put the EN back. And unfortunately, any changes that you're going to try to make on these in these citations, they won't stick unless you change them in EndNote itself. So, for instance, to fix that, you do have the option here to edit the style. So if I go to edit SU Harvard, and this comes up, and I go to author lists here under bibliography. Oh no, that would be in citations. Author lists under citations, there you'll see it gives me that end. So I just need to change that to and. But very importantly, note the space before each of those. That's very important. Otherwise, it's not going to put those spaces in there either. So just to double check, there is a space, ampersand, so correct. And let's say this, we want to change the et al. Um, behavior as well. If three or more authors, list the first three authors and abbreviate, list all author names. Abbreviated author list with subsequent appearances will then use et al. Okay. But this is very technical. I don't expect you to actually have to do this yourself. If you want to make these kind of changes and you're not sure how to do it and you need assistance, please email me. I will assist you in editing your style until you have it the way you want it. Okay, so let's update. And now you see it's written out these authors. Let's add Murphy again. But the second time et al. Is applied. If we want to add page numbers, again, you'll select the reference that you want to edit. You'll go here at the top, click on Edit and Manage Citations. And there you'll put in the page range. And then the page numbers will appear there. You can also, if you want to use this according to setup, again, you can set that as well as the default one. So let's say you select Berghofer, we click on Insert, but not, we click on this tiny little arrow at the right, and you say Display as Author Year. If for whatever reason you want a reference to appear in the reference list, but it's not in your citations, you don't want to actually cite it as such, you can also insert an invisible citation. So let's do that. Let's check Zhang. And you say insert, and you say insert in bibliography only. So there it will then appear, but it won't appear in your reference list. Now, what often happens with EndNote as well, for whatever reason, is that if you open your document, all of a sudden you get this weird coding that appears like that. Now to fix that, if that happens, usually it will be your table of contents even will have disappeared, your table of figures, your list of tables. What you need to do is you need to click on any of those fields. You click on Function, Alt, F9. So for Windows, it's Function, that little FN button, plus Alt, plus F9. On Mac, it's Command plus Alt plus F9. So I just put that in the chat as well because this is something that I do get a lot of queries on oftentimes. The other thing that you sometimes get is it looks like this weird little, with that little twirly bracket. The only reason that would be the case is that instant formatting here at the top is turned off. So if it looks like this, just make sure that instant formatting is turned on, and it will then correct it. But as you can see now, for whatever reason, that hidden one that we wanted to only appear in the reference list, for whatever reason, didn't work in this case. But that's you could, if that happens, you could also just double check with me why that might be the case. Okay, so now we do want to be able to change some of the style of the text as well. So just to be sure, it's Trebuchet 11. Let's update that to Aptos, which is apparently now the new one. But If you want to change the spacing, for instance, you need to go to EndNote again. You'll click on this little arrow configure bibliography button here. You'll click on layout. Select the font there to make sure that it does match. It's the same as your document. Make sure the font size is the same. Here you'll choose your spacing as well, and to make sure that there's a space between each reference, let's say OK, and then you'll be able to edit it a bit to look like that. If you're still not 100% happy with how it looks, and this is anyway the final step that any of you will do before submitting your thesis or dissertation, and that is to disable EndNote in your document. And to do that, you'll click here on Convert Citations and Bibliography. You'll click on Convert to Plain Text. You'll get this warning to first save your document. And yes, I will always recommend save a copy with EndNote still enabled. But in this case, I'm not going to because I don't plan on keeping this. And you say Continue. And now it's disabled. You cannot edit these references anymore. They're just ordinary plain text. It only does it with this document. It doesn't do it with any other documents, only the one that you are operating in. Now you can make necessary changes that you couldn't, for instance, if for whatever reason you weren't sure whether it was correctly done, or you didn't know how to do the layout in EndNote itself for an odd reference. Then you can now go and fix it, make those changes here. You can change the justification so that it's justified, but it's usually better to keep your reference list left aligned so to avoid unnecessary spaces. And you can remove spaces and add spaces and so on. Now you can edit it. All right. Okay. So let's quickly do Chicago. EndNote. Let's change to Chicago. Let's use footnote. So if you, with any kind of footnote style, you first need to create a footnote. So let's say there, let's go to references, insert footnote. And then once you've created the footnote, then you will insert a citation. And now you'll see instant formatting is off. So let's switch it on. There it generates the footnote and according to the footnote style, and it will still create and generate a new reference list. And remember that as well is because this one's now been disabled. So a new reference list will be generated because because this is now a new style and a new it's now been re-enabled in the document. Yes, Miss Hendricks. Now you can unmute yourself. Okay. And I think that's it primarily. So we can do a bit of rehashing now again, go through some of the other features. And so if you want me to go through anything again. The other thing that is quite worthwhile as well is of taking note of is if you, for instance, if somebody sends you a document with EndNotes enabled, let me quickly see if I can find a document where EndNotes has been used. Let me just quickly see. Okay, no, I'm not going to waste time with that now, but basically what you can do is if it's, let's say you received a document with EndNote where somebody has used EndNote to create references, you don't have those references in your own library. You can, if you click on Export to EndNote here and you say Export Traveling Library, you'll get the option then to export those references in that document into your EndNote library. So in this instance now, it won't be worth showing, but yeah, that could be quite beneficial as well. Um, the other thing I wanted to show was duplicates, how to manage duplicates. So if you click on Tools, actually not, on Library, and you say Find Duplicates, now it's searching for duplicates. It's detected 23 duplicates, and now it's asking you to compare and decide which of these records you want to keep. It will usually highlight where the records differ. Now, in this case, these ones are identical, so you can keep any of whichever one of these. Now let's see again. You compare, you contrast, and you keep the specific record. Okay, here for instance is how it varies. Here the author's names are written out. There they are just initials. Here you've got the full title of the journal. Here it's abbreviated. So I would keep this one because the information is more comprehensive. Again, same situation. Okay, but I'm not going to go through all these duplicates now, so that's just so you know how that works. But now that we've got a whole lot more references, here we go. Let me click like that. I want to do the full text again just to show how that would go. Okay, so now I see, okay, I have to reference according to International Journal of Food Science and Technology. How do I integrate this with EndNote? So yes, you need to go to the EndNote styles at the quickest way is actually just to Google EndNote styles. You'll click on output styles here. And while that is page is, okay, well, there it is. Let's see. And now you search for that journal. Okay, and it's not picking it up. It might be because of that ampersand. So let's try that. And there we have it. International Journal of Food Science and Technology. You click on download. And once it's downloaded, you click on that file. Oh, interesting. It couldn't be open now because it's now busy with this search function here. But here we've got the full text of find full text function. I wish I could actually pause it now. Oh, there we go. Cancel finding full text. There we go. But now here it actually found 19 of the bunch that I asked to search for. So it does, if you do have a whole load of PDF or sources or that you want, you will have greater success in actually getting the PDFs to attach. Okay, so let's just go through this again. Downloads, click on it. This will open, and again, you'll just save it. Save this style. And then in EndNote, just make sure that it has been added under Open Style Manager. Okay, so we're looking for that International Journal of Food Science, International Food Science Tech. It's that one. We tick it. And now it is selectable citation here. And these citations or styles that appear here are the same ones that will appear in Word as well. So there's International Journal of Food Science Technology and Food Science and Technology, and it will adjust it according to that. Okay, so I think that answered Ms. Eichenhuis's question as well about how to add a specific file. All right, any other questions? Let me just see if I've got everything correct here. Oh, yes, that's what I wanted to show as well. So if you do work on another computer where you don't have access to EndNote, for instance, the software on the computer itself, then what you need to do is if you click on Preferences here, and then click on Application, then you just need to switch this to EndNote Online, put in your details there, and then you'll be able to, then the document will synchronize with the online application and not with the desktop application. And then you'll be able to continue working with your documents on it. Ms. Hendricks, can you just clarify what you mean? Is there no way to insert in-text references? Because if I'm talking about in-text citations, um, you click here on insert citation and select it here, and it will insert like that. Is that what you mean, or do you mean something differently? Okay, so yes, to make changes to the style itself, um, yes, yeah, so that is how you insert in-text citations, Ms. Hendricks, is basically you select on insert citation, then you look up the author specifically. The other way you can do that as well is in EndNote itself is you select, oh yes, that's what I didn't show is how to add multiple authors. So the easiest way to add multiple authors is or sources is you select them by holding in the control button. You select the first one, then holding in control, you can select different authors. Then you click on this button, and then it will add them. It added them now in a very random place. So let me just quickly put them here. Let me just remove this footnote. And then you'll have it also according to, you can even change the order of how they appear. Should it be alphabetical? Should it be chronological? Oldest to newest or newest to oldest? Those are changes you can make as well, which I will demonstrate now when I will also show how to make change et al. If you want to add a reference to an existing citation, let's just add another reference or citation. Okay, to do that, you click on that one, you go to Insert Citation, you select the reference or the citation that you want to add, and you say Insert, and then it will add it to that one. Okay, so here we've got the new reference lists being generated at the bottom. Okay, so to make changes, let's go to Output Styles again, Edit SU Harvard. Now, to change the how et al operates is you'll look here at it will either say, okay, the first appearance of an author list. You can say list all the author names, or if three or more authors list the first of the first author, and then abbreviate with its all, select italic if it's needed, or you can choose even two or more or so on. Okay. And the other one that we wanted to edit, or it's changed. Okay, so that's a function of it's all the sort order is here. This is how you'll determine how groups of citations will appear. You can choose whether it's year author or author, then year, then title, or then author year, or even same as bibliography, that it will then be fully alphabetical. But generally it's year author. And then you can just change that. Okay, so the reason, Ms. Loebscher, it's not showing yet is if you click on oh wait, when I click on tools and then output styles, the IG is still not there. Um, just to be sure, did you click on save as when we downloaded it? I wonder if I skipped that step maybe. Oh yes, I think I might have. Okay, so let's just go through that again. Click on download. And once you have it like this, you save as, you give it a name. I think I did save it because it is picking it up as a copy. But make sure that it is saved. I'm just going to replace this one. And then if you go to output styles, it should appear under International Journal. But it will be under the name how you saved it. So it will be INTLJ Food Site Tech unless you gave it a different name. And then just to make sure that it is ticked like that. Right. Any other questions? One final thing that I could show, if we have a less than optimal record here, but you can always, if you right click on a record and you click on this authenticate. Oh no, this isn't the right one. Let's see. Find reference update. It will then search the EndNote database and the online databases for any changes to that reference and so on. So oftentimes, if we have, let's, if we create, for instance, a record, let's see if this works. I'm actually curious myself. I'm just going to give this title, and I'm going to save it as such. Okay. So let's see if you only have, let's say, incomplete information, and we then say find reference updates. Let's see what we get. So in this instance, unfortunately, it did not work. It needs a bit more information than that. But yeah, that is one way also just to double check that the information on your reference is correct. Right. Okay. So good luck with using EndNote. You're welcome to contact me with any follow-up questions you have. There's a couple of librarians in the library you can assist, but if the more high-end technical issues, you can always refer to me. Um, but yes, you're welcome to contact me anytime, and good luck with using the software. Yes, Ms. Chetlanyani.
Yes, thank you so much for the session. I just have a question to say that now, if I hadn't imported the SU Harvard style on the paper that I'm writing, and I was using the Harvard style that was in the EndNote, can I simply change to any style that I want, and then it will make
Yes.
like changes to the whole document?
Yes, yes. So
Okay, okay.
to demonstrate that, let's go to some of these live ones.
Yes, yes, yes.
So I think Harvard is here as an option. I don't necessarily see it, but let's say, for instance, we change it. If you change it to any of
Sorry,
these
few minutes, Mr.
styles, it will automatically change it to the
Sorry, few
requirements
minutes.
for that style.
Okay. And then I also wanted to ask this question: how many times can you reference one paper in your literature?
Oh, as
Is
many
there a
times as
limit?
you refer to it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no limits. My advice is always rather reference too much than too little. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, just to play it safe, to make sure that you don't you didn't actually plagiarize accidentally or because you felt that you were referring to someone too much. But also don't depend too much on just one source.
Yeah.
Try and find either literature that corroborates what that person is saying, so that you could say, okay, well, that's at least that it's, you're not just depending on that one author, um, and saying, okay, well, that these people agree with that person as well. That will give strength to your writing also.
Okay. Thank you so much. And I just want you to know also, if you have made a mistake, maybe you referenced the wrong author, can you just simply highlight and delete that reference?
Yes.
Okay.
So if you
Thank you.
select it, like if you were to click, for instance, on the bracket just behind it, and you click on click on backspace, and you say delete, it will automatically delete the citation, and it will remove the reference from the reference list also. Alrighty, okay, so I'm going to stop the recording here. And yes, I hope you all have a great day further.